Hello, welcome to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson, an attorney, certified financial planner, and founder of a financial planning firm that serves LGBTQ entrepreneurs. I created this podcast to help mission-driven entrepreneurs build businesses that are both profitable and meaningful. On the show, you'll hear conversations from diverse entrepreneurs and experts who support small businesses in many, many ways. We'll talk about marketing, money, strategy, mindset, and what it really takes to build a business that aligns with your values and supports the life that you want. So whether you're just getting started or growing an established business, you're in the right place. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson, and today I want to talk about something that was sparked from a conversation that I had about some recent episodes. A couple weeks ago, I released the Why High Achievers Struggle to Feel Successful and got a lot of interesting responses. People saying, "Are you in my head?" Or "That really resonated." Someone shared with me that they also go from one goal to the next without really pausing and celebrating what they've achieved. They are grateful for their business partner because that person was able to stop and celebrate where they don't. And he said, because he was talking to me, that he doesn't know how solo advisors do it on their own. And I agree, it's much easier for team members to sort of reflect and be that mirror for you. I've been a solo entrepreneur for years and proud of it. I like independence. I like control. I'm very much a control freak, a perfectionist, and someone who feels deeply responsible. So I've spent a lot of my life making sure that the people around me feel okay. Part of that is my people pleasing, and part of that is compensation for discomfort and shame around who I was. I wanted to be known as the dependable, capable one, the person that you trust to handle everything. But eventually, there's a cost to carrying everything. So today, I want to talk about the emotional cost of overfunctioning, why highly capable people often struggle to let go, what I'm learning about delegation and support, and why building a sustainable business may require to stop trying to exhaust ourselves and delegate some of our responsibilities. So one thing that I've realized recently is that capabilities become deeply tied to identity. When people constantly praise me for being responsible or organized or dependable, it becomes very easy to internalize my value comes from how much I can do for people. Entrepreneurship rewards this mindset for a while. In the beginning, we have to do everything because we're the only person there in our business. You solve problems quickly, you wear every hat, you stay late, and you figure things out. And many businesses survive on this since the founder is willing to carry an unreasonable amount of responsibility. Again, we have to. Eventually, there's a shift. Competence becomes over responsibility. Sometimes that outside world keeps rewarding that, though. People tell you, "Oh, you're amazing. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't do it without you. You always handle everything." That feels great externally. Meanwhile, internally, your brain never shuts off because you're carrying everything. Your client needs, operations, planning, emotional labor, decision-making, all of that, including everyone's expectations, falls on you. And after years, that level of overfunctioning starts to feel normal, even when it's exhausting. One thing that really came up recently in my conversation with Jessica, my operations manager, was how emotionally different it felt to no longer be the one doing everything. I don't think I fully appreciated how much of a mental load I was carrying and how nice it was to offload that to somebody else. Not just task-wise, just emotionally. As solo entrepreneurs, we often become the sole container of stress, uncertainty, and anxiety, and we have to adapt. And for me, there's also pride to being that person. I built this myself. I can handle it. I don't need help. Bringing someone into the business has forced me to confront something very uncomfortable. I was carrying more than I realized. On top of that, getting support, even having Jessica there, doesn't magically remove stress. It just changes. So now instead of doing everything myself, I'm developing new skills like communication, leadership, trust, delegation, visibility, collaboration. That feels vulnerable in a very different way. Jessica mentioned in our conversation that one of the hardest parts of having to come into the business was the visibility into the business. And I completely agree. Letting someone into the systems, the gaps, the bottlenecks, the imperfections, that's not easy for someone who likes control and doesn't want to appear vulnerable. But it's something that I had to do. And so something that I've, again, tried to learn and become accustomed to. People talk about delegation like it's purely operational. It's a very emotional thing. And underneath the resistance to delegation are fear of mistakes, fear of losing control, fear of disappointing people, fear of vulnerability. I think all those prevented me from being open and making things more visible for her. But in reality, if you don't let go, you're never going to be completely comfortable and you're always going to be carrying more than you think. One of the reasons that the dynamic with Jessica works is that we had already years of trust and communication built before we started working together. We worked together for years as tax attorneys. We knew each other personally. We knew how each other thought and made our way through life. Even with all that history, our transition has still required vulnerability, adjusting expectations, and accepting uncertainty. Learning to let go of the total control and thinking how things will function has been a challenge, a good challenge, but still a challenge nonetheless. A lot of highly capable people unconsciously believe if I were really good enough, I could handle all of this myself. But sustainable leadership probably looks less like heroic overfunctioning and more like intentional support, more collaboration, more honesty, more capacity, more boundaries. One thing I've been learning recently is that support doesn't remove the responsibilities, like I mentioned, it just redistributes it. Doesn't remove stress, it just redistributes it. It allows more room to breathe, which I think is great. Many entrepreneurs, especially business founders, are not struggling from lack of capacity. They're struggling with chronic overcapacity. At the end of the day, being highly capable is a gift. But if we're not careful, capability slowly becomes permission for everyone, including ourselves, to expect us to carry unsustainable amounts of responsibility. Eventually, even strong people get tired. So I'll leave you with this question. What are you still carrying simply because you've gotten used to it? And a bonus question, what might change if you allowed yourself more support? Not because you're incapable, but because you're never meant to carry everything alone. Thank you so much for tuning in today's podcast. If this conversation resonated with you, send it to another entrepreneur who you think may need to hear it too. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. What's something that you've struggled to let go of in your business? Or where has support been really beneficial for you? You can reach me at Brian Financial on Instagram or LinkedIn. And I genuinely love hearing these conversations. So until next time, keep building a business intentionally and remember that sustainability matters. Thank you for listening to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. And if you know another entrepreneur who could benefit from this conversation, please share it with them. Until next time, keep building a business that creates both profit and purpose.